Hello everyone, welcome. In this video, we're going to get into the fundamental mechanism of seeking, sort of how it works and how it kind of survives and keeps us looking in the future for a better moment. And in understanding this, it can just stop the whole, I don't want to promise too much, right? But it's when I understood this, it was like, oh, I can see why I was going so far in the wrong direction. Because I was like, I could understand what was going on now. And then I could just notice it and let it go. Whereas before, when you're in the loop, when you're on the treadmill of seeking, you don't know how to turn the treadmill off. You don't even realize you're on a treadmill. You think you're going somewhere. So yeah, this video hopefully will give you some insight into the mechanism of seeking. So essentially, seeking at its core it's a grasping. Seeking is looking for a better experience. It's a part of you that is always looking for something more, something better. And there's moments where it actually gets what's better. It actually attains something better, right? Maybe it gets a new job, it gets a bunch of money, new relationships, whatever desire it wanted, right? Which it felt would fulfill it. And there's that moment of feeling of completion when that desire is attained. But the movement towards the desire is, I'm not happy with life right now. I need this. I want this to feel better. Then we get it. And then so that's already a grasping or reaching out. Then it gets what it wants. And it holds on to it. And it holds on to the initial feeling of relief. And then as the nature of things, the nature of life appears to be change, we grasp, we hold on, and then eventually it fades. The new feelings, the fulfillment fades, and we want the next thing. Now, the same thing happens in non-duality. We watch non-dual videos, we do sessions, and we have a beautiful, fulfilling experience of awakening. And then the mind grasps, it wants to hold on to it. Whereas what it actually but why this moment suddenly felt okay, it wasn't because we got something. Some state came online. States can happen, right? But it's because we stopped reaching out for more than this moment. We stopped wanting this moment to be different. It's not that this moment became different. It was the side effect of the inquiry of the video, of seeing that this moment doesn't need to be more. Whether that's interpreted as I experienced myself as peace, bliss, whatever. And then that whole grasping mechanism, because it's a tension, it's always wanting something from reality. It's this constant tension. If you really look at your experience, we are living from tension always. Very, very deep. You may, depending on where you're at, you may notice it very viscerally or in the background. But that inability to be comfortable with what's arising and just wanting it to be a little bit more, a little bit better. And in those moments, that's stopped. It's like we've fully just seen that this is it. This moment can't be any other than it is. And as I always like to say, it's never what's arising. It's never because something is wrong with this moment. It's always we want it to be different. That is the trip. That's kind of the root of seeking. It's never and then we chase experiences. And this is how when I go back into the start, what I saw is I was always chasing experiences. pre-spirituality and then within spirituality, I was chasing awakening, and then I would have these openings and I would want to hold them, make them permanent. And the second you start clamping onto them, the further and further away I get, because it's the absence of grasping. And so how do we stop grasping? How do we stop reaching for better experiences? One is understanding this. Seeing that everything you're doing, watching videos, the whole seeking is in an attempt to reach for something other than this. So what's here without grasping? And don't look for a landing. The mind, another part of grasping is it wants some final insight to land on. Like, I'm consciousness. There's only emptiness. There is no one. There is no thing. Because what happens is we have an insight and that's how it feels. And then we start speaking the words out, repeating the insight to ourselves, and we get lost and we hold on to the words. And then we think every time we repeat those words to ourselves, it should produce this beautiful experience. But it just doesn't seem to be the case. So it's not landing anywhere. What's this moment without grasping? What if we just fully let go of the need for this moment to be more? Even just for a few seconds. Because that's where the suffering is. Don't look for a state. Don't look for a big blown out state of clarity that just abides. Look for where you're holding. Where am I holding on to? Where am I tripping myself up? And just understanding this subtlety. It's not that I need this moment to change. It's like I need to see that I don't need that. This moment doesn't need to be more. I need to relax that seeking, and maybe you need just an out breath and just tune in to that feeling of non-grasping. And then you may notice peace arises, and then the mechanism wants to clamp down on it, wants to grasp, wants to hold. And just notice it for what it is. We don't want to change that if the grasping comes back, because that would just add more grasping, more fuel, compound, and then it will compound and compound. But just seeing the mechanism is enough. Just noticing that constant energy that wants to keep holding on to things, hold on to good experiences, hold on to peace. And then it pushes away, it grasps, and then it pushes away things it doesn't want. And it's just like this energy constantly. I want and I don't want. And then as we start to see through those mechanisms, and we see through them also by taking away thought, taking away stories. Like there's a sensation and we say, I don't want this sensation. This is resistance. It's like, what if we look closely at resistance? What is it actually? It's an energy. It's moving. Maybe there's an energy moving in your body. It's like, why is that a problem? When did I decide that this energy movement was a problem? This sensation. And then remove the label sensation. Maybe this moment is actually perfect and doesn't need to be more. It doesn't need anything. Because we can play that game. We can make this moment better. And this isn't telling you to not try and make your life better, quote unquote, but it's like we want to move from fulfillment, not constantly change our environment to make us feel fulfilled. Because how long have we been playing that game? All our lives we've been playing the game of fine-tuning the experience to make us feel good. And it never holds. Because it's this moment is endless change. So maybe you get the money, the relationship, the everything, and eventually it always fades. So it's futile. Not that we don't take care of our lives and make money and do all the practical things, but just understanding that this is never going. A lot of my actions aren't going to bring me the fulfillment I want. If that's what you're seeking, if you're seeking unconditional fulfillment, changing the external will never bring that. But seeing the mechanism that the only problem with it's never the external, it's always the internal word and mind and thoughts that say, I want this moment to be different. I don't want this moment. I want that moment. I like this moment. Let me grasp onto it. And then we live in a state of giving. And what I mean by that is we're not always looking at life to give us something. We're not bound by it anymore. We just let this moment be exactly as it is. It's just the stream of appearance. No need to grasp, hold on to it. And we keep meeting it directly, not as a practice, but as an unfolding, an ever refinement of meeting whatever is arising directly. Maybe painful emotions, maybe beauty, maybe discomfort. And we keep meeting it without story, without holding, without pushing away. Because uncomfortable stuff will arise. And notice that a lot of the response to discomfort is to avoid, is to go into seeking, is to try get rid of it. And it's like, what if we just embraced it? What if I didn't need this discomfort to go away? What if it was deeply okay? Because you will come into discomfort. You will meet suffering, emotional turmoil, life, crazy things, not crazy things, but life is you don't know what's going to happen next. But when we meet it directly, it's sweet. It's sweeter. When we meet it without grasping, without pushing away, there's nothing to be afraid of. You can live freely, live unbound. It's non-duality doesn't lead to this state of just like, and you're just at peace constantly. Non-duality enables you to meet each moment fully. And be free within the conditions of what's arising, not free from conditions. I think it's more real, it's more raw, it's more honest, and it's better than just being detached in peace, away from reality. Because that's, the Buddhists say samsara is nirvana. Samsara is nirvana. And what changes samsara into nirvana is not needing it to be more. It's not that it becomes this mystical experience 24/7. It's like, I don't need to be this moment anymore. And all of a sudden it's beautiful. Full of life, full of radiance. Don't look for radiance, but it's full of just life. of this mystery that cannot be named. It's why we can't name this. It's why I can't give you a landing and call this whatever is arising something, because that would be grasping. It's the absence of knowing what it is. It's the absence of grasping. That's what's flowing, and it's just this appearance. It's just the seen. Like the Baha'ya Sutra, in the seeing there is just the seeing. In the heard, only the heard. In the cognized, only the cognized. Simplicity. For me, that points to just the utter simplicity of this. Of meeting it without concepts, without thought, without grasping, without trying to change. That's the freedom, not a state of stillness, a state of bliss. Thank you guys for watching. I hope this resonated. So I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you.